like other civilizations have, who are not around anymore, that we are manual. We do things manually. Then, yeah, we've got things that help us, which is great. But then there's other things. It would just be nice, to be able to do things yourself because you want to do them, and that's what we're talking about. That's how the AI does not become totally aware. I don't need, it's like you'll say, I don't need this AI to do this for me, so I'm not going to get it. I can do it just fine. I enjoy doing it. So it's going to be more our responsibility, not anybody else. It'll be our responsibility to say whether or not, hey, would you like your house totally automated? Not really. No, not really. Okay. Some things, yeah, but even they can go astray. You got to use the noggin. Where exactly in the physical body is the soul with the God within located? Okay, so you go, when I say go within, it's not like you're going into the physical body. You're going in to commune with the God that you are, which is everywhere, which flows through that body. And you're connecting to what? Universal consciousness, of which you are a God, pure consciousness, which is a part of it. Grain of sand is part of the beach, has all the same properties. Drop of ocean water has all the properties that the ocean water has, but it's yet just a drop. So we're like drops in that golden ocean of pure consciousness. So we're not separate, but we're all doing our thing. We're all, we're living and we're in physical bodies, physical material bodies, experiencing physical material life. And this is what we talk about, is when you become fully aware of who and what you are in that body, then you don't have the ego mind. You don't have stress, fear, or worry. You manifest exactly what you want whenever you want. And that's exactly how we're headed that way. So the God, the spirit, soul are all interconnected. And most of that came out of what? Man-made creative religion. So to simplify it, the God is all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. You're the God. And you're a part of all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. So you're connected to everything. You can be point A and point B at the same time. Not physically, but spiritually. And this is where the civilization is going. So when we say go within, you're going within you, that physical material body, and you're going into total quietness in the now, because that's all that really exists anyway, is the now, to discover that you are a God or a drop of the golden ocean, either way, in the collective consciousness. So this is why when universes are created, we all assist in the creation of that universe across the board. When the collective consciousness decided to create this photon energy field, which is pure love light energy, okay? It's what we're made of, the gods that we are, pure consciousness, flooding the planet, flooding and saturating and permeating everything for the next few thousand years. It's inevitability that all of the evil and darkness is going to fade out. It's going to fall away. So the extermination teams come into play. Everything comes into play to eliminate all of that from this planet. It is not good. And that's why we participate in that. It doesn't mean that we consciously are aware of it. The majority aren't. But when we start to realize that we're omnipotently powerful supreme beings that never die, we're immortal. We're balls of light, put it simple. Okay. Where does a ball of light come from? Out of the body. Is it actually housed in the body? In a way, okay, but it's not locked in the body. So its perspective is that it's watching everything in the physical material world. Now, does that mean that you in the physical body that aren't aware that you are the God, you don't know that that's what's going on? But, it's like I say, you look in the mirror, what's looking back at you? Okay. So any way you look at it, in actuality, you're the God in the body. You're the pure consciousness in the body. Body's temporary. Everything's temporary but what? The God that you are. Everything's an illusion. But what? The God that you are. And the only thing that's real is that which never changes, which is the God that you are in that body. And the more that you decide for yourself to explore that and to go within, love your dark parts and your good parts, all of it. Forgive yourself for anything that you have not forgiven yourself for. Be done with it. Let go of it. I know it's hard for any of us to let go of it, none of us are exempt for certain things, but that's because we formed attachments to whatever it is. We don't form attachments anymore. You can love someone, but you don't need to be attached to them. Let's see. Does the soul leave the physical body at night when we sleep? Not really. There's no reason for it to. People, they've talked about a silver thread that connects you to the physical form. There really isn't a silver thread, guys. Okay. That was made up too. You're in the body to experience physical material life. And life is God, God is life. So you as the God, right, are experiencing a form of illusion so that you can, what is the simple reason for it? So that you can experience it. We don't, as pure, deep, eternal, loving gods, these brawls, you could take 100 suns, put them in the background, and put you, ball of light, the God that you are, pure consciousness, in front of those suns, they would dim in comparison to your light. No, there's no silver cord. Okay, forget about that. That's a material thing, okay? When this is separated from the body, will we physically die? You can astral travel, you can leave the body and move as far away from it as you want. The body sustains itself at a low ebb because why? Well, it's got to be fed energy. The body has to be fed energy. And the reason that is why? Because we don't know who and what we are. Because if we did know who and what we are, the God that we are within these bodies never get sick, never have disease, never be unhappy, any of that stuff. But since we don't know that, the body has to be fed energy, food, water. Okay? So you leave the body, then you have to make sure someone's there to tend it until you return. Most people don't, though. And they're afraid to stay away so long because their ego mind starts chiming in. Can animals, let's see, silver cord physically. Can animals be demon possessed? Yep. And if so, are demons attracted to specific animal species? Not really. No. Where do the demons come from? Well, if you look at millions of years of frustration, anxiety, war, conflict, murder, death, kill, hatred, envy, greed, those frequencies and energies are going to create something, aren't they? From, let's see, from KC. How was Temujin Genghis Khan, 1162 to 1227, related to Guyuk. Well, Guyuk Khan was a Khan, okay? He was the guy that sent the letter to Pope Innocent. He sent the letter stating that the Mongolian Empire was now rulers of the world. Pope Innocent did not question it and, acknowledged it. The rest is history. Okay. How are they related? All Mongols are related. All of them. They're all. You listed the lineage that are descendants of the Mongolians. How are the fake Jews related to the Khans? The fake Jews are people. Okay? They put on a different mask. Okay? They were actually Mongols, and they faked it. Said, well, we're the Jews, we're the chosen ones. When they were the ones that murdered innocent people, not Jews. Not real Jews. They didn't murder Jews. They murdered all kinds of different nationalities of people. Millions. Horrible. And they masqueraded around as the chosen ones. And they're not. They never were. And they're not Jewish. Look at all these labels we have as a civilization. Isn't it crazy? We got all these labels. Do they all worship, get their orders from the Elohim, space aliens? Well, the Draco interact with the Mongols, okay? Khazarians, Khazars. There's some interaction with the Greys. There's some interaction with the Nords, which are all splintered with their civilizations. You've got the Octagon group. You've got the Omega. You've got the Chimera, and these are all creeps that want to destroy life. They've been dismantled. Thank you for the education, meditation, heart, mind, and perfect life. Okay? And I'm going to tell you something. The Elohim are just another beings. They're just another species. They aren't any more special than any of the gods that we are in these bodies. From BS, is this misinformation that there is no internet group? No tiers, 1, 2, 3, 4. We being tier 4. I believe that the Zim will be for humanitarian work and would get a slightly higher rate than the public currency holders. For example, if one has 100 million pounds, dong, 100 million dong, we would get a higher percentage, possibly 2.5%, which is 250 million or not. Will everyone get to go to exchange at the same time and get the same rate? Okay, so here it is. You've got people that hold bonds, golden guns, this is what they're called, golden guns, golden Bibles, golden dragons, yellow dragons, all kinds of these different special bonds. These bonds are created and printed for the distinct purpose for humanity, for humanitarian projects. We're rebuilding this planet is what we're doing. It's massive scale. Thousands and thousands and billions and centzillions of trillions. We're rebuilding the planet. I don't mean the earth, in a way, because we're revitalizing the soils and everything. Introducing species back into the population of the ecosystem, balancing everything out, straightening out our atmosphere, our waters, everything. Huge. Okay? So this is why these currencies, this is why this whole RVGCR is there. So you have bondholders, okay? You have family trusts where these trusts were willed to the people of planet Earth. Indirectly, where the wealth of these trusts are implemented to what? Finance the reconstruction of the planet. A new Earth. So they go first, obviously. it's not about first, second, third, fourth, fifth, last, whatever. It's about precedence, okay? So you get these large trusts released without interruption to the appropriate people so that things can move forward. And then the people carrying the currencies, which most people are carrying currencies, they only bond. There's boxes of blue Zim that fall in the category of the Pacelli bonds and the golden dragons, yellow dragons, all these different bonds. Okay? And there are counterfeit bonds that the creeps have tried to, screw the system and get the money, but they haven't. It doesn't work. So these bonds and everything are monetized, and then the financials are then allotted, and then distribution happens. The people that are carrying the currencies, the dong, the dinar, the bolivar, all these different currencies will benefit from it because it's a revaluation of the currencies of each country so that you can balance those currencies to today's standards, which none of them are. Zim's a bond. You can argue that till you're blue in the face. It's a bond. It's printed on bond paper, okay? And it wasn't meant for monetary as a currency. It's not meant as a currency. Even though some of these coin places, it's a currency, it's a currency. Yeah, okay. Some of these coin places are pretty gray in some areas. Not all of them, but some of them, just like everything. Where there's good, there's bad. Where there's bad, there's good. So you look at all this, and you understand that it's not even a wish or a dream come true. It's happen. It'll happen, okay? And that's how it's structured. And so everybody else will go in. You're going to go in. Oh, you're tier 4. You got to wait behind the line, okay? You're just going to go in and exchange. It's just not that complicated. And you're not going to be left out. You're not going to be left behind. They're not going to overlook you. You have currency. You'll exchange it. You'll have money. It really is that simple. But unfortunately, just like I've said before, in our culture and society, like I tell you the story about Mary. Mary lives in the neighborhood for 20 years. Mary comes out on a fall morning, and there's dew on the grass, and she slips and falls. She sprains her ankle. So by the end of that day into that evening, people in the neighborhood have Mary in intensive care in a body cast. That's how it works. If you give people long enough time, like with a GCR and an RV, it's going to be so blown out of proportion, it's going to be ridiculous. And that's exactly what's happened. You've got groups of people specializing in this and that, and they've never revalued their currencies. They're going by all these people that claim are credible, and they've got all this power, and they're the developers and this and that, and they go by them, who still haven't participated in a real revaluation of currencies or a global currency reset. They haven't participated. How can they teach people something that have not participated in it? That's like you teaching people how to fly a Cessna when you've never flown a day in your life. It's imbecilic that people, but guess what? People do it. It's ego. It's ego mind that drives most of these people. It's all it is. They got to be important. They got to be doing something that people look to them for. That's a dying thing. It's from old Earth. It will not exist in fifth density. Just won't. What would happen after the EBS regarding schools? How will it be the transition to the educational system? Remember, 5D is a decided frequency. To each of us increase our frequencies, our vibrational frequencies, up to the frequency the universe is in, we'll be in 5D. It's not a galactic flash or something that's going to be sprayed on all of us and we're going to miraculously be in 5D. It's up to each and every one of us. This is from JBT. I would like to ask, when the EBS comes to its end, how will we all know when to come up and out of the hole and get back to some kind of normal life? You'll be educated and informed, you know. The only reason that this lockdown is happening is so that they can do their job. Get rid of the rest of the baddies. And then when that's done, then you're going to see things really pop, okay, in a good way. You're going to see the reintroduction of the constitutional republic. I believe that you'll see the whole planet under a constitutional republic. Really. I also believe that you will see the United States of America, true United States of America, to be kind of the focal point, the leader. I'm not talking about global reserve currency or anything. I'm talking about kind of the leader country in the transition into a higher spirituality and existence. And that might sound strange to some people, but we're a melting pot. We represent every country on the planet, lineages and ancestry. I mean, none of us are, ancestral-wise, the only pure American are the American Indians. That's truth. Look at our background. Look at our bloods. You know, we're so mixed. You know, we're like special Heinz 57 sauces. And that's why it's so neat about this country, because it's such a melting pot of so many different nationalities, cultures. Look at the foods here in this country, you know, and some of the neighborhoods, Greektown, Chinatown. I mean, all these different places that people migrated here legally generations ago. And they still, you know, the Italian people, the Jewish, the real, you know, true, the Germans, the Italians, the French, the English. I mean, it's a phenomenal country. We've never really given it enough credit, you know. The baddies took it over, and now we're kicking them out of space, eternally gone, off planet. Hallelujah. So, okay, so everything will fall into place. Okay, EBS, you'll get a real earful and an eyeful. Do you think people will be too afraid to venture out from their homes because they think it's not safe to go out yet? Or will the EBS give some kind of instructions after this is all over? Yeah, I mean, you're not going to be left in the dark, period, okay? You're just not going to be left in the dark. Also, after this is all over with, will you still hold these very informative conference calls to keep everyone up to? Yeah, sure. Will you hold this very announcing what? Yeah, there'll be different guidances and avenues, because a lot of things will open up that were sequestered and closed and pressured by the baddies, and a lot of things will start springing forth, opening up that you never thought it was possible. From RA, is the Mayan calendar with the 25,000-year ascending and descending consciousness cycle with iron, bronze, silver, gold age, part of truth or part of the control matrix? It was a civilization that had a calendar, and they put certain things and certain beliefs in the calendar. That's all it was. It was just a calendar. But, of course, right, you know, it was turned into some doom and gloom in 2012, the Mayan calendar and this and that. But those people came up with a calendar, their calendar, and they created it for their own purposes and needs. From LG, in one of the Matrix movies, a mirror looks like it changes into a portal. Are mirrors just mirrors, or are they something more that we haven't been told about? Remember matter, okay? Matter, antimatter. And you have matter and molecular structure of anything, and you can change it. You can repurpose it. And when you can do that, you can create travel from one area to another, which you saw in the Matrix, right? Leave one area, walk into a totally different one. Those are dimensional portals, but you're the same dimensions. So you're not drifting off into separate dimensions. So it's a way of travel that you go from point A to point B. You can change the molecular field of anything. You can turn it into something other than what it was intentionally meant to be. We ask you some kind of a... Yeah, so this is not going to be helter-skelter. People aren't going to be left in the lurch. You're going to be educated and informed on a continual basis. No longer the American people going to be kept in the dark. Period. JT, I received an email from, Catherine at Bodywave International with a free radiation detox download. Is it true there is a nationwide microwave attack that is being amped up each day? On your last call, you indicated the bad players had been eradicated. Also, after the eclipse, I saw many crisscrossing chemtrails, but that was in Mexico. Haven't those been stopped as well? It's becoming such a challenge to combat fear and anxiety with this, and the news there will be a tsunami of deaths from the shots. Okay. Focus on what you want, not what you don't want. Seriously. Step away from the mind and the ego, go into meditation, get in a comfortable, relaxed position, ease into your body, and focus on the breath rising and falling. You'll be in meditation. You'll be in the now. Your mind chatter won't be there. Your ego mind won't be there because it exists in yesterday and tomorrow, not in the now. And all of your worries, stress, and fears won't be there. It's a great place to be because it's all we have, really. None of us can guarantee we'll wake up in the morning. I don't care what your health is. I don't care how old you are. It doesn't matter. None of us can absolutely 100% guarantee that we're going to wake up the next morning. So this, I don't know anything about, to be honest with you, this radiation microwave attack on the people, amping up every day. So, okay, let's put it this way. Let's follow that scenario, just for giggles. Eventually, everybody on the planet will be cooked, or everybody in this country, or everybody where they're targeting everybody will be cooked, and they no longer, why worry about it, because everybody will be gone that they're targeting, right? See, that's the low frequency. So if you believe it, you're going to create it for yourself. Now, does it make any sense? Okay. We're approaching a genuine lockdown for the good, not the bad. And, to eliminate collateral damage, while those who are trained to do this job of eradicating evil from the planet, taking them off planet. This is getting ready to happen. Would it be allowed, just deductive reasoning. I don't care what credible source is reported to this source, who is telling this source, who is showing documentation and video footage and filming and all that stuff combined to ratify and confirm that people are being microwaved and cooked to death. Right now on the planet, it's being ramped up on a daily basis. Okay? Ask yourself this question. Would that be allowed? Right now in this moment. Would that be allowed? That's all the time I'll spend on that. So it is overwhelming for just about everybody if you go into it too deeply, because it's so deep. It's like after a while you get so steeped in it that it's like, this is ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. I'm so sick and tired of this crap and garbage, all this negative slamming us every day. There's always something around the corner. There's a bright light, and all of a sudden someone kiboshes the bright light, twists it, turns it into evil, condemnation, and destruction. The sky is falling. The sky is falling. The sky is falling. And, the mind can play tricks on any one of us. The ego mind can. And reach in, go within, use the God that you are. A lot of this stuff is just hyper accelerated disinformation. And it could be set through certain mouthpieces. It can be set in documentations. It can be set in movies and videos. It can be set so well that you're absolutely convinced that's what's going on. Dangerous thing. Dangerous. The chemtrails, for instance, okay? The chemtrails will be obliterated from the atmosphere. All the damage over the years since the 1950s is going to be eliminated. As a matter of fact, it's happening right now. Our oceans are being cleaned right now. From the air and from the ocean itself, from the soil, from our waterways, from all of it. It's being cleaned up, and it will continue to get cleaned up and put in perfect, pristine order. That's what's really going on. But unfortunately, what do we keep hearing? The same garbage, but packaged in different ways and served in different flavors and colors every single day. Something new comes showing its ugly head. Oh, we're doomed. Here's another one. People are literally manipulated through their ego minds to get sucked into that. And this is what I say to people. Don't get in it. Don't. You deserve much better than that. Everybody deserves the best of everything on this planet. Don't get in it. It's like, okay, fine, but I'm not interested in that. My energies are going to what I want, the life I want to live, the planet I want to live on, okay? The joys I want to experience in this life. I've had my fill of diseases throughout lifetimes, through hatred, anger, self-depression. I've had it with that, and I'm grateful I've experienced it through all this time. Now I'm going within to experience and discover the God that I am. I'm putting myself spiritually straight. And when I do that, I'll be at complete peace. And that's the only way I will achieve peace is by going within. You're never going to find peace or anything else outside of you. But that's what this civilization was programmed to do. Keep looking out there. Out there is the truth. Out there is what your answer. And it isn't. It's within. See? And you're not going to see a God, and you're not going to see Jesus come floating down on a carpet of golden, sparkling light, and he's going to come out of the clouds and save everybody. That's bicameralism to a T. Okay? And and all of you know what bicameralism is. If you don't, it's right and left brain. And a perfect example of a bicameral being is a schizophrenic on this planet. Okay? So look up schizophrenia. A true, a person a being that is schizophrenic and doesn't fake it. And then you'll know what a bicameral is. Okay? And you've got the majority of the civilization is bicameral. It's a bicameral mode. All right? It's not pure bicameralism because as a civilization we ended that about 3,500 years ago. Give or take, 3,000 years or so ago. But we don't know it, and most of us are still unconscious. We're unaware that we're conscious. I know that this sounds strange to some people, but that's the truth. That's why when they came out with this kill shot, murder, death, kill, this vaccine, under the guise of a fake virus, that's why so many people lined up. They were bicameral. That's why they've been able to take advantage of this planet so many times. The creeps. Infiltrate it, invade it, set up fake documentation and make it the law and all this stuff. It's all just garbage crap. You know what? It's all going. But it doesn't mean we're off the hook. It means that we will all be contributing to this ascension process in a good way. Some people will hang on attachment to what? 3D. So they stay at 3D. They won't be with us. You don't combat fear. You embrace it. You don't fight it. Embrace it. Get overwhelmed. Embrace it. Right? Give it one big full body hug. You'll find out that it will just vanish. And every time another one comes in, do the same thing. And you just practice. And after a while, it's no longer there. And this is from Soldier Jim. Is your money safe in a credit union? Is our money safe in a 401k with Fidelity? In a bond fund? Well, I'll put it this way. I'm not a financial expert, nor do I claim to be. But my personal opinion is, from the good bankers I've talked with, and good people in somewhat aware of metals and stuff. I'm not an expert in any of that, by far. But the little bit that I do know, if you don't hold it, you don't own it. What happens if all financial institutions collapse for a period of time? Okay? Because the banking industry in this country is done. It's done, guys. It's done. It's just limping along for the sake of not having the society melt down. But the criminal bankers are being eliminated. All this criminality, the banks were criminals. All of them. They're criminals. They charge interest on your money and make billions of dollars. How do they do that? They issue a credit card, right? It's your money. You're using your money on that credit card. I don't care what the balance is or what your credit rating, what your credit amount is. And how do they suck you in? This is all criminal. They're all criminals. And there's some good bankers. There's some good heart-minded bankers, believe it or not, on this planet. Okay? It's just that, man, you look out there and you see all these mines that have been laid. How are you going to maneuver it without getting blown to smithereens? Okay? So as we clean up all of these corrupt bankers, and they're off planet, can't leave them in society. They'll turn right around and start trying to figure out how to murder, death, kill the civilization. So we're eliminating them all. Banking system is not going to be anything like it is now. There's no comparison. It'll be more like a light service operation. And we won't need banks anyway. Not where we're going as a civilization. We're not going to need banks. They won't be needed. And this is where the new financial system is headed. Banks are obsolete in the new financial system. You won't have banks. Okay? You'll make the decisions on where to transfer your monies and who to give your monies to and so on and so forth. You'll be the decider. You'll have the responsibility for your own wealth. Nobody else will. Nobody's going to be able to infiltrate that either. It's going to be a whole different ballgame. But, it's adapting and understanding. You get used to something after a long period of time, it's really difficult to step out of that. Isn't it? Have you ever done that? You're used to doing something for a very long time, you're in a comfort zone, and then something comes along and pulls you out of that. It's pretty discomforting at first. But then after a while, you adapt. You do. You transition. Most people do. But 401ks are not safe right now. Okay? Credit unions aren't safe. Anything dealing with financial assets is not safe. The only safe thing is you. From PM, I have a friend talking to me about exchanging Treasury Direct Of course, he is much smarter than I am. He just has more knowledge than you. And not sure I totally understand what he is telling me. But my question to you is, can we put all our redeemed and exchanged funds directly into the quantum financial system? Well, that's where it's going to go. It's no longer the QFS, guys, right? And the QFS was created by who? The bad guys out of an Air Force base here in the United States. That's where that QFS came from. It was infiltrated by forces of light. That's what I call people that are heart-minded, forces of light, and repurposed and restructured. Okay. I have been believing that was the safest avenue to go with our funds. Thanks for all you are doing for humanity. This is pretty simple stuff. It's not complicated. We will go to a gold-backed currency, precious metal currency. Okay. We will stay with that for a period of time as we transition into a completely new secured financial system for the people of planet Earth. And you'll be educated along the way about that financial system. That's it. Okay. Not complicated. You won't get confused. It will be explained in a very easy format. Let's see. Okay, from AC, I have a question about let's see, wait a minute. PM, I have a friend. Okay, here we go. Doesn't totally understand. Always tell me about my quantum financial system. Covered that. I've been believing that was the safest avenue. The safest avenue is you, right now. Okay? So it's like some people have dumped out their security boxes out. That's fine. Okay? Don't let anybody know you've done that. But and they're not leaving residual money in the bank. Okay? They're not. They're just not doing it right now. Why would they? Okay, from HC, I have a question about MIR scans on human magnetic field resonation, knowing that the human body is electric and soul magnetic. Will MIR strong magnetism cause damage to the human aura or connection to higher self? No. No, remember, it won't. Okay, it won't. And any information I discuss on this call, as well as all statements and any products, have not been evaluated by the FDA and are not intended to diagnose, mitigate, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or health condition. We are not licensed physicians or doctors. We do not practice medicine. We are not licensed financial experts. We do not practice finances or anything like that. These are just our opinion. So let's see, I totally understand some of them about magnetic resonance. So, no, remember, the God that you are is pure consciousness. And it's indestructible. So man-made devices don't affect it at all. From CJ, do you know if the military will provide food and water for those who can't afford it, and for the ones that absolutely do not have the extra space to store the food and water? What do you know about the Kuwaiti dinar? I've heard they are the most valuable dinars. Is this true? Okay. Now, a long time ago, Kuwait revalued their currency. Look it up. You don't believe me. You know, when was the last time Kuwait revalued its currency? Now, they didn't make, it wasn't like Iraq and all these people say, Iraq is celebrating the streets, they're using their key cards and all this stuff. They've revalued, it'll be in the Gazette next week. All crap, garbage. But the Kuwait revalued their currency and surprised everybody. There was no announcement. They just all of a sudden decided to revalue their currency. Just about everybody in Kuwait is doing very well, by the way. You don't hear much about Kuwait, do you? All right? Just type in, when was the last time Kuwait revalued its currency? And you'll get an education on what occurred. Okay? So all currencies will be revalued to today's standards. Those carrying those currencies, obviously, will gain wealth. That simple. You're not going to know what the rates are at all until you go to the exchange. You'll be shown the rates, and you will be exchanging your currency. I don't care what anybody says about the Zim bond. It's a one-to-one. It's a face value. It's a bearer bond, period, okay? Look up a bearer bond. Look up the definition of a bearer bond, period. And you'll find out for yourself what a bearer bond is. You're the bearer of a bond. The face value of that bond is payable to you. Okay? Now, you got all these corrupt banks, crooked banks, financial institutions, plans. We're not going to honor that. Well, then I guess you're all going to be lifted off planet. Because the wealth on this planet backs all these bonds. All of them. Period. Okay? Now, it doesn't mean that, you're going to be worth bazillions and that's it. Okay? You're just going to be just wealthier than a million lifetimes combined. And you're just going to go around, buy things and, that type of thing. This is all constructed for the restructuring of the planet so that everyone can enjoy their lives and will enjoy their lives. Okay? Money, and money's wonderful, it's great, it's grand, but this isn't about the money. And I believe more and more people through the heart mind are starting to understand that. Every one of us have everything we'll ever need, ever, beyond, and forever. You just haven't been able to learn how we're going to learn how to access it. From JM, after we use the celestial chamber and we want to make babies, when the baby is born, will they be perfect like us or do they need the CC? No, they'll be, you remember, they're your offspring. You're immortal. Okay? They're your offspring. You're immortal. I don't need to say anything else. Yeah, you'll be able to choose the baby sex. You'll decide, okay, we want a girl. You'll have a girl. Okay? There's nothing wrong with that. Say, just accept whatever you get. Why? Okay, you can actually, all right, I'd like a little girl, little boy. You'll have a little girl, little boy. Nothing wrong with that. Goodness gracious. And guess what? They're coming from your immortal body. What are they going to be? They'll be immortal, but it's different because they'll grow to a certain age, okay, natural as regular, and then they'll stop aging because your genetics are different. Okay? All the anomalies and all the damage they've done to us genetically through our existence, who are they? Off-worlders, creeps, beings. Genetically modifications, and all this stuff. So we're going to correct all that. We really are. All the tampering is going to be undone. Finally. From PW, greetings. You said doctors and nurses who participated in the vaccine genocide will be done away with. Yeah, because they participated in it. How can you not know? Now, I've talked with nurses and doctors that left their professions because they didn't care to do it. It's pretty self-explanatory. You're seeing people drop dead right there in the hospital after you give them an injection. All right? And then you turn around and give someone else the injection. You see people go into fits, and convulsions, and you see other people, a year later drop dead, and you don't know anything about it? You have no clue what you're doing? Come on. I'll give you an example. In the Nuremberg trials, right, after the so-called, end of World War II, there were nurses and doctors that played roles in, doing a lot of damage to people, knowingly. And they were all hung. So this may sound extreme to some people, say, and now people that participated in that, directly or indirectly, now they're starting to shake in their boots. I guess they just thought they would never, ever be punished for committing such a crime against humanity. To even be a part of genocide of the civilization of the planet is obscene. So, okay, genocide will be done away with. When the EBS comes on, what will Trump's reason be for pushing the deadly vaccine? He didn't know. He didn't know that Fauci was a criminal beast, or that woman with the rotted teeth that stood around. I don't remember her name, that doctor. He didn't know. He really didn't know. So that's why he pushed it. And of course, they're going to try. They try to use that against him. They use everything else against him. Then they failed every time because it's all bogus. When the EBS comes on, well, Trump's reason for pushing it, that's all going to come out. Yep, all of it. Even just recently. Trump also just said Robert Kennedy Jr.'s views on vaccines are fake. Robert Kennedy's been compromised. That's all I will say. And Trump said RFK Jr. is the dumbest of the Kennedy clan. No comment. At least RFK Jr. is speaking out against the COVID vaccines. Thanks, Jared. Well, yeah, okay. You guys know that someone can speak out about something that doesn't mean they're good. They're not. Here it is. For the people. Right? We will no longer have politicians because eventually they become corrupt. Look what happened. We started out as a great country, and for a long time. I mean, even after the Nazis were invited in to build our government for us, and then their sons and daughters started running the government, where do you think Mueller came from? Look it up. His father, you can find it. His father was one of the senior members, one of the chiefs of what? Gestapo. Asinine. These people in the so-called Congress and Senate, all criminals. How do you know that? Well, look how long it's taken criminals to investigate criminals, and nothing ever comes out of it for the people, does it? Nothing. Zero. If you kept lying to your employer, what would happen? Really? All right? You're employed, right? And you have a boss. And you kept lying to that boss over and over and over and over again. Right? What would eventually happen? You get fired. Yeah, you'd be kicked out on your can. Pretty. Not a surprise. But all these people have been hiding behind a facade, a fake front, a mask, trying to convince the American people that, oh, we're your government. We love all of you. We will take care of all of you. We're here for your safety and security. And the opposite's true. It's just absolutely heinous. So all you how can they go into office for 4 years, they come out millionaires. Pretty interesting, isn't it? Not only that, they get a carte blanche medical coverage. They get a $600,000 paid-up life insurance policy that they can cash in after they leave office. Now, does something something that they got golden parachute, platinum parachute. Does that make any sense to any of us? Who gave them that power? They did. Who passed those bills to warrant that? They did. Did they ask the American people for it? No. No, they didn't. So it's like, hey, let's steal $4 trillion some odd dollars this tax season. No, they did, over $4 trillion. Stole it. What it is theft. Where'd it go? Oh, it went to buddies across the planet. Yeah, that's where it went. Did it help the American people? Did it eliminate all the homeless? No. Heck, no. Did it rebuild all of our roads? No. Why? We don't care about America. From LB, QSI. Now here's something that you guys, all right, QFS, now QSI. From LB, this is from being out there. QSI bases their platform on stellar blockchain technology, saying it's our future for all future transactions. Okay. Now remember what I said earlier. There are different groups like this. Not identical, but there's different groups like this on the planet that are doing the same thing. They're similar. Not quite exactly, but there's some variances. But they're doing the same thing. There's a group, they're like a few thousand, and they're all being trained and educated and in a way enticed with certain gifts and awards and everything, that this is, going to be the new the planetary financial system. Okay, this is one of them. Okay, and do you believe that our world is truly transitioning to an all blockchain, global, online, asset-backed, tokenized world? No, I'm not convinced of that. And some of my best friends will tell you that I'm not convinced of it. I've been accused of being too old-fashioned. But from my experiences with other planetary systems, that's why. Okay. So no, I'm not convinced. Not yet. Global online asset-backed tokenized world. If so, what about the new rainbow currency? Okay, now and I covered that. In the beginning, we are going to go to a what? A gold-backed currency, which happens to be our rainbow currency. It's already been printed. You guys have seen, I'm sure some of you have seen plated chart pictures of it. It's already there. It's already been created. It's already been printed. It's been quite a while now. We'll have that. We're going to have a currency. It's going to be the first currency the American people can say is their currency. Not some private corporation that comes in and says, hey, here's a Federal Reserve note, which is an IOU. A note's an IOU. Okay? And it's debt. So the Federal Reserve note, FRN, is debt. It's immediate debt. As soon as you get it, it's debt. That's what it represents, debt. How stupid. So this private corporation comes in, calls itself the Federal Reserve, had nothing to do with the federal government at all. Zero. No association whatsoever. Totally zero. But since they renamed themselves to the Federal Reserve, and the rest is history. They ended up establishing all these central banks, controlled all the central banks, across the planet. And we don't need central banks. We never did. The Federal Reserve, one of the most corrupt, vile creatures on the planet. It is no more. Doesn't matter what they say, who the representatives are, and traveling here and doing this. They're done. They are completely kaput. Poof. Gone. Okay, so Anyway, we're going to have our own currency. We have a new treasury. The old treasury is corrupt to the bone. We don't care about them. They'll be shut down. And due diligence has already been done, and those creeps over there, they're going to be gone. If they aren't already. No excuses either, by the way. These people have all been listened to, all been monitored for years. If so, it is the rainbow currency. How will we navigate between stellar blockchain transactions plus rainbow currency? It's going to be a gradualization. Let's just say for giggles that QSI becomes the global financial system. It won't be fully functional, guys, until probably 2026. So what's in the meantime? Well, gold-backed currency. They our own. And, sure, we'll have like digital. We've had digital in a really rudimentary form. Numbers on a screen, you do a transfer, you aren't physically transferring anything, you're just transferring numbers. That's digital. And so, we'll have that. Well, you'll have your debit card and your credit card, that type of thing. But it'll be a transitional period. And as it comes along, slowly but surely, people will learn how whatever the financial system will be, they'll learn how to navigate it and use it without issue, seriously. So it's not going to be, okay, you guys are all on this. Period. It's not going to be dumped in your lap, is what I'm saying. Will our world switch to using both blockchain and rainbow currencies? Please explain our money transitions and transactions and what will it look like. I'm just going to say, I'm not going to put the cart before the horse. So time will blend it out, will present it to us. It will present it to us. Next, are you familiar with the content goals developers of the QSI ICOs? ICOs are initial coin offering. Okay, so what are ICOs? They're initial coin offerings, which means that companies will come in to the financial system, and it'll be worth so many. It's an initial coin offering, so it just what companies come in that have been repurposed and cleansed of all the baddies and everything that come into this system. All right, and Russia is a heavy hitter with most developers from there and creating the high-tech blockchain ICO buy-in opportunities with AI chips, internal and external, mind-altering reality chips, tech for cleansing Earth's environment, mining from asteroids, other planets, moon, under oceans, portals, and more. And see, I'm gonna kind of interject things here, okay? This is temporary. If it does expand to that, it's real temporary. You understand that in just a couple of years, we'll have a celestial chamber and a broad-range replicator? You won't need to mine asteroids. You won't. It'll be superfluous. Why? Why waste the energy and time? You won't be using chips, period. You won't mine other planets, moon, under oceans. If you will, you'll gather information to put into the database of different off-planet materials that can be replicated, yeah. But you won't physically be mining anything anymore. Asteroids, other planets, oceans, portals. You won't be mining from the oceans. Is this off-world tech our viable, God-given future? I'll tell you, you are a God, and the celestial chamber and broad-range replicator will set a precedence on this planet. That's all I'll say. I've talked a lot about it through the years, and I think most people know about it, and if they don't, they go to my website, and they can look at all of the presentations I've done, listen to all of it. Some of it might at times, because it's dated, sound contradictory, okay? Because things change. They always will. It's, okay, let's put it this way. This type of system is temporary. It is the transitional bridge between now, okay, and the new earth and no money. It's a bridge. That's all it is. Temporary. It's just temporary. Because unfortunately, okay, for this civilization, it is a proven fact that when you're working with money, that vibrational frequency, fortunately, it ends up corrupting. Things go dark. And then it's the whole thing ends up as hell in a handbasket. So we have got to eliminate finances from the planet. That'll be the next phase. Yeah, we'll have a financial system, all right? It won't be obtrusive. It'll be unobtrusive. It'll be easy to use, but it won't be around long, comparatively speaking. It's just not going to be. It'll replicate stuff. Like I said, databases will be filled. There'll be research done on analyzing and evaluating certain properties in different planetary systems and asteroids and stuff. That information will be loaded into the AI database of the broad range replicator, and rest is history. So most of the time, we'll just be gathering data. Okay, AI will analyze the data and determine the validity of the data as far as the replication. So that will go on. I mean, information pumping into our AI will continually go on a daily basis. Massive. Because eventually, well, I won't go there with that. Never mind. God-given future. Is divine creator part of the plan? You're divine creator. You are part of the plan. You are the plan. Divine creator part of the plan to insert brain body by no. Okay? This is the road to transhumanism. We don't need a body and a chip in our body. Create a baby life in a separate pod, and then parents take the baby from this separate pod to raise as part of family. No. I don't care who says that. No. And if they are saying that, they are not of heart mind. There's certain elements and organic. Okay? If you get so arrogant to believe that you can create a loving, nurturing relationship with a baby out of a pod, you need a checkup from the neck up. It's been tried. It's been done in other civilizations with disastrous effects. QSI claims that all future money transactions will be on stellar blockchain on and off planet. That is highly debatable. That is really putting the cart before the horse. It's also arrogance. It's also ego mind. Okay, here we go. Decide for everybody else what's best for you. That same mistake's been made on this planet over and over again. Look where it got us. Is our divine future we create going to include chips planted in our bodies? No. No. And I'll explain why, okay? That is a machine. I don't care how you look at it. It's not an organic. It's a machine. Okay? AI chip, however you want to look at it. Now, celestial chamber reatomizes your body. It corrects all anomalies. You become immortal. You could be in that body for thousands of years and it'll never age. Right? Look at all the knowledge you gained through all that time. Why in the heck would you need to have an implant? We got, like I said, we have been given everything we will ever need. Forever, beyond, and forever. You're really, this is ego mind. This is not heart mind. If you got to pick that up. Anybody that's somewhat aware, pick that up. I don't care what's being said, but when you start hearing and seeing and feeling that frequency, create a baby life in a separate pod. Okay? It's been done before, other civilizations. And like I said, it's ended disastrously. Enable new abilities. You already have the abilities, okay? Seriously. The celestial chamber, and I don't go into hardly any of the detail. We sit down in counseling, you'll be blown away. That's why I'm looking at all this, and it's just absolutely, well, I'll reserve my comment. Let's see. Positive good oil, credit use, gifts implanted, ocean floors, forest, space travel, etc. QSI investors are funding infrastructure changes to our planet. And we are told are the number one humanitarian group. Okay. You're number one. You are the elite of the planet. You are omnipotently powerful elite. You will guide the civilization into the next future. Are you familiar with the QSI claims? Asset token, ICOs, changes with credit cards use, space travel, restoration of planet with new ICO techs, 15 medbed frequencies, ramping all blockchain or crypto onto Stellar blockchain. Stellar, by the way, is a software program. QSI claims that they are the white hats. Okay? Although the majority of developers are from and in Russia, what can you share, Jared, about the incredible goals and actions and fundings of ICOs, initial coin offerings, from and within QSI, and the efficacy of the group regarding its platform as the one for creating new Earth by investing daily in the plethora of technology controls or creations of new technology via QSI. The group provides perks, bonuses, and additional XLM earnings for investing in its daily ICOs. Is this a divine path for its member investors from our creator source? What say you, Jared? Well, putting the cart before the horse is a dangerous process. Okay? It really is. We aren't the first civilization to start implementing this, putting the cart before the horse. We've done it in many different scenarios and occasions throughout lifetimes. Now, do I know about QSI? I know about QSI. I don't have an intimate understanding about it. Really don't care to. But like I said, there's these groups like QSI claiming to do the same thing. Not the same, okay? It is different in certain ways, certain aspects and applications. Different names, different sequences. But it is what it is, okay? Now, is anybody in QSI making millions of dollars a day? No, not. Do they have access to any financial resources for themselves and their families? No. As of this moment, no, they don't. This is based on what? What is it based on? Well, as a group of people that have been gathered from the planet to collaborate and coordinate their creative ideas and directions, headed up by a group of people in another country that are directing through different financial structures, through software programs, compiling everything into one symmetry, one globe, so to speak, to initiate a financial system that will protect the people. Okay? It's a real quick, non-invasive description. Okay? And, it's just, you get a gut feeling about certain things, and it doesn't all click. Okay? It just doesn't all click. Okay? Now, someone else will say, yeah, it clicks fine. It's great. It's wonderful. But there's just certain things that you look at. You don't judge it. Just look at certain things. And you understand, what this whole assembly is. In the meantime, this is what we're looking at right in this very now moment. Not tomorrow, not a year from now, not 2 years from now, but right now. We need a gold-backed currency in this country. American people need a gold-backed currency. They need spendable cash that they know has value. Okay? They'll be able to do that with a debt-free start. That's spectacular. See, that's in the now. That's what we're looking at right now. These other financial structures, they'll play out. I guarantee you, they will play out. But it is not our interest or concern right now. What our interest concern is this situation is that what is the number one urgency that we have as the human species? Save our species from extinction. That's number one. Because everything else is a moot point, because it won't be applied at all, because there won't be any of us around. You got a lot of old people and you don't have enough babies, what happens to a civilization or any species? They die off. Okay? Well, and then people having babies here in this country and everything like they do every year, every month, so on and so on. Yeah, sure they do. It's not enough. It's nowhere near enough. Then you got all these people that have been miseducated and programmed and to believe that, yeah, you can abort anytime you want. No. That's an organic life, and so you can kill it anytime you want because of extenuating circumstances or because it's my baby and this and that. Yeah. Okay. So that understanding partially has led to our extinction. Millions of babies every year not having a chance to house a God with knowledge and help and giving that creation to humanity, to the civilization, to the species. How do we know how many souls, how many gods would have come in and helped us in so many ways? We don't. Why? They never had a chance. Bodies were eliminated before they could get in them. So years and years and years of that, which is allowed, by the way. You know why? Why? Because the dark ones of this planet who have been running it up until now were able to do that and instigate it. So you got to kill off generations so that they don't become a threat. And you got to keep them dumbed down so they don't become knowledgeable. And if they don't become knowledgeable, then they're easily manipulated. That's been the cycle. Generation after generation. Dumb them down, dumb them down, dumb them down. Program them. And that's exactly what they've done. To the T. And we're ending that. As a people, as gods in these bodies, as a collective part of the collective consciousness. This is ending. It is. It doesn't matter what anybody else says. All these talking heads, it doesn't matter. It's over. It really is. Yes, like I explained, we have remnants. And what do you think the lockdown is about? Clean them all out. Don't leave one behind. Clean them all out. Period. Once and for all. So we as a civilization, as a species, can continue in addressing our most urgent situations as a civilization. See, because that's where our attention should be going. Not what ifs, not new financial systems in the future, if and when they do engage, because you know what? There's one thing that I think we've all learned in this life alone. Everything's always changing, day to day, second to second. How do we know any of these systems will even be intact a year from now? We don't. We have no idea. I don't care how powerful. I don't care how much of a semblance there is. You don't know. It's just like you go to bed at night, you're going to wake up in the morning, you don't know. Right? It's the same thing with any of this stuff. So what do? You exist in the now. You literally exist in the now, moment to moment. And that's where the peace is. And that's where you will master the ego mind, your thoughts, and that's where all the bars and all the armor you put around your hearts will melt away. The mind chatter is gone. The ego mind finally starts to understand it's no longer needed. This is a process, okay? We are the masters and commanders. We always have been. We just didn't know it. And that's what's going to transition this planet and the star system. That's what's happening. And it's not going to end. It's going to continue to flourish and expand. You're going to feel it. If you don't feel it yet, you will very shortly. It'll be a light, uplifting feeling in the center of your heart out of the clear blue. Won't be anything that literally instigates it or catalyzes it. It will be because it's actually happening. And you're part of it, and you're a significant part of it, and every one of us are a significant part of it, and none of us are diminished at all. If anything, we're beginning to come into the light that we actually are. Period. We have 2 new pages on our website, so check them out. Links are now a separate page with some great informative links. And now we have a products page that has an outstanding video about Halo. You want to learn about Halo? Watch this video. One of our sisters created it. She's a very talented lady, her and her husband, and it just flows. You know, you don't have to read volumes of books. You can just watch and listen, learn. All right? So what we've covered tonight is kind of like tap dancing, okay? Maybe tiptoeing, like, what's his name? Tiny Tim, tiptoe through the tulips. This was years ago. Crazy-looking guy. But the process that we're in right now is complete liberation of planet Earth. That's it, okay? The good stuff is it's going to start bubbling up. Will not be suppressed, because there won't be evil to suppress it. You will see in the short days ahead every attempt by the remnants of this crap that infiltrated our planet and almost destroyed it, that is no more. But the infiltration of this crap, they'll do everything they can, the remnants of them, to make you believe that everything is hell in a handbasket. Seriously. They'll discredit everything they can, period. On a continual basis. They'll machine gun it, machine gun it, machine gun it. And guess what? We're right on the verge. We're right on the edge. We're on the precipice. And the primer is going to fall in place, and everything is going to take place. That's how it's designed. And there's enough of us on this planet that are heart-minded that didn't care to see this planet destroyed, nor the civilization. And we thank our lucky stars that that's the case. Because we came real close, a hair close, for this all being gone, all of us and this planet. And we've turned the corner. Our future line is higher and higher ascension, higher and higher frequencies on a continual basis, with awareness in doing that and how to do that. I'd like to thank everyone for coming tonight and spending this time with me. I deeply love each and every single one of you. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Doesn't matter what's going on out there. That's the dog and pony show. It really is. It's like the Trump trial. It's just an absolute joke. Insult to our intelligence. Right? It's all corrupt, it's all crooked, it's all going by. Bye-bye. It's all going bye-bye. And all the people that perpetrated it and involved with it, they're all going bye-bye too. So there's going to be a lot of things available for everybody. See, this just is. Being the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal gratitude. And the magic will just flow in. You become in perpetual gratitude 24/7. You aren't ever going to run out of being grateful for any. You be grateful. I'm grateful for the very moment I'm in. You'll shift your whole vibrational frequency. And every time the ego mind, which lives in yesterday and tomorrow, pulls you out of the now, you just go start all over, go right back in the now. That's why our meditations are helping people all over the planet. And they are. You get letters every day. It's helping them all over the planet. Because they choose. See, they're choosing. They're not being goaded or chided into it. They've chosen. We'll return here Thursday, May 9th, 2024, around 3:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation